This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Ping.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Welcome to Transformations with Tara Sutphen. Tara Sutphen is the author of Blame It on Your Past Lives, Soul Agreements, and the Abenda Chronicles. Grammy-nominated audios, videos, and MP3 series. You can find these MP3 series now at TaraInsight.com.
Welcome to Transformations with Tara. And, today my guest and my soul guest is Jason D. McKean. And he is a reverend and a tarot wizard, and he's a wizard. I mean, we have, long known that Jason is the wizard. So he is the voice of OM Chants. There has been over 1 million OM recordings sold throughout the world. And thank you, Jason, for being on the show. And always being a great host. And you're a great brother, and you're an amazing person.
Oh, now I'm starting to blush. Thank you. Thank you, Tara. Thank you so much. Thank you for, providing this podcast that you do as well to help elevate the vibration, to help the world.
Yeah, it's been nice. Definitely being influencing positive thinking and mind programming, enhancing the mind through hypnosis and MP3s and through our work. And you've continued forward with that too. It's been great.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's funny, that term, the wizard, right? Because I've been working with the Japanese community for the last, it's been about 3 months now. And culturally, their conception of wizard is something that's dark, something, a person who's like, using magical powers to bring about negativity. And so being able to be a part of helping shift that consciousness, it can start small. It can start with just a few people and all, but it can build and grow. And it is a privilege to, be able to, work on in areas like that where, it can be seen as, because here in America, the UK, it's like Harry Potter and all that. It's like, oh yeah, wizards, they're fun and, like casting magical spells and looking to do the good. And that's what we all can look to do in our lives, is to, bring out the positive aspects to, shift, minds and all. It's like, that from the 80s, right? Like metaphysics, the mainstream, look at, past life regression and all that, where it's like, oh, that's weird stuff, but the benefits of it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was into David Viscott even in the 70s, and, just really people who were, that consciousness, I liked it. When we're in consciousness with action, as far as Contact Talk Radio. So the thing is that, I've always strived to have a clear mind. I think that there is no confusion, that we are clear thinking humans if we allow ourselves to be. And so there's no impropriety that I feel that's that interesting in life. I think that if you're destroying your body, or if you're destroying your mind in any way, it shows. And life is short. Why not have some fun by being the best you can be, instead of, all this downtrodden stuff. There's a lot of,
it's funny what
terrible about things.
When you say that life is short, it's like, if one in conversation just brings up something, oh yeah, I remember, and then it's like, what, that was how many years ago? it's like life is like kind of, just zipping by there in times. But when you are in the present, because this work of being conscious and building your consciousness, it is about recognizing the present, knowing that every decision is made in the present, and it has it will have a ripple effect as to how it will the consequences in the future and all, and being able to be cognizant or recognize that yes, we are spiritual beings, but we're here in this physical realm. And it's like today you wanted to talk about like taking an idea, a conception, an identity of like who it is that you are building from your talents and the skills that you also acquire, and putting that out into the world and being able to sustain yourself, being able to thrive, being able to just look at the ways of monetizing what you do, because that's the system that we live in, and it's how we sustain ourselves. And really, like it's like you use your own authentic self, but you put it out there, and you are able to maintain your way of being. So what are the first steps to that?
Well, I wrote about it just as far as just a list for the new moon this week. The new moon was at 23 degrees Capricorn. And so Capricorn is always about the construction of our lives, how we are seen in the world. 23 degrees comes up as it's connected to a fixed star called Terra Bellum. And so it's always about seeing, it can be it's a fortunate aspect, but it's also one that has struggled. And so with the conceptual ideas coming at the new moon is the time of darkness. It's all the waters of the world are calm at that time. So that means that we're able to rest and we are able to gain ideas. And so if I use astrology. So at 23 degrees, it says, okay, well, how do you want to communicate in the world? How do you want to secure yourself? How do you want to be seen? So where's these steps of conception? Well, the steps of conception are the first thoughts that you have as far as what do you want to do with, say, your career. It can be anything that's a step of conception, but let's just say that it's a career choices, and because it's Capricorn. And so you think, well, the first step is the idea, the seed that germinates in your mind. What are you good at? What are you just naturally good at? It could be organizing, can be drawing lines, can be strength. It can be, it can be a physical, it can be an intellectual, it can be an emotional, you can be a good counselor, spiritual. You're a good, you have kind of a concept of where we might be in the universe or what that means. So, because we have to have all things. We don't get out of this life without experiencing it all.
So at this stage of it, is it the sky's the limit type of treatment, as far as you just give yourself like, it's like if I was to make a wish, it's like if I could have my best life, is it kind of like setting the stage on that level, or is it?
It's setting it's setting an idea into your mind, because it hasn't yet reached your voice or reached actions. It's just your thoughts, and being clear with those thoughts. There's a clarity. So where's the clarity? The clarity is the idea, the step of conception. So, so you know what you're good at. Okay. So the list is what is the goal of this idea? So there's an idea. What is it? And where do you want to go with it? You know, where can it go somewhere? So a lot of people, this is just a good example of they'll, and this is dating. Say when you want to be in love. I used to talk to people. Well, I talk to people all the time, but I would talk to somebody at, say, like a party, and they would say, "Oh, I like that girl." And I would say, "Well, aren't you going to ask her out?" And they'd say, "Oh, I don't know. I'm just going to watch her for a minute." And then I realized that in their mind, they dated her, they married her. She had 1 kid, she had 5 kids. Maybe she, gained weight. Maybe she, there were some flaws that they found in their lives or she wasn't a good cook. And that, she had 5 kids. Maybe she had 10 kids. There was this whole thing, and then there's a burden on them, but they lived the whole life in 5 minutes instead of actually doing it. They didn't go into any sort of action when they're attracted. And I thought it was interesting. So, I've talked to a lot of people over the years, and I watched this and then just said things like, well, if you want a real life, you have to actually, walk into it.
So people will fantasize, they'll like project forward, and then they will talk themselves out of, because it's like, done, already experienced it with that person, on to the next.
Right. So that's why I made this list, so it wasn't just a concept about, it's not necessarily a person on this list. It's more of a, a health or a career move. But the thing is can this idea, make you money? This, say, if it's a career move. So, so it becomes something where you're not just out there fantasizing about it and it's already lived its life, because all projects, all services must be put into action. So, okay, so where could I make money with it? Do I need training? Do I need, marketing? Do I need, the internet? Would I have a chance? What am I good at it? What am I naturally good at? We see people walk into things, and they walk in, they're going to take over the market, and they do really well, but they just don't have, they don't have it. They don't keep going with it, or they decide to go to something else, because you have to make sure that you have a real job to pay the bills until you make it with the other business, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. That consistency that, people will, and, some people are just wired to have like a lot of enthusiasm at the onset, and yet just the day-to-day mechanics of, keeping that momentum going, and, projecting that, you're the best keeper of your own vision. It's like, you can't just start something and expect it to, I was going to say infect, maybe not the best word to use as far as like at this time, but where our enthusiasm is infectious.
Well, yeah.
Right.
How about assertiveness, or some other word, really?
Yeah. Where other people go, oh yeah, this is great, and it builds, right? It builds, takes a life of its own.
Right.
And that is just to keep at it, to keep at something. That's a real skill set right there. It's usually called discipline. Yeah,
it's called discipline. Well, and it's called maybe a calling. Like I would say that I definitely had a calling. You had a calling, but I was able to coax you out years ago to, be in front of a camera instead of behind a camera, or in front of the recording instead of back behind the recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the quintessential artist. I mean, just such an artist. And you were that when you were a kid. But for me, I believe that I was always just completely shoved into my destiny from very early. But I didn't really want to be, you know, I didn't want to be, but I was.
Yeah, reluctancy.
Yeah, there was a reluctance. Well, there was only just a reluctance because, you know, I had a hard time like promoting myself or talking about myself. I still really don't talk about myself with my clients. You know, it's really all about them. But it's, you know, the few that I know personally, but.
You know, but that's actually a really great, you know, part of this equation too, as far as, you know, because it is essential to be able to put forth in a confident manner, you know, what it is that you're providing for people, whether it is a service or a product. And years ago, one of my great friends, Mari, she was telling me that there's a difference between a hard sell and a heart sell. Yeah. And the hard sell can be, you know, like, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread and all that. And you're like just touting all the benefits. And, or, you know, I'm the greatest, you know, tarot reader ever. You know, it's like that. These are things that are hard sell, as opposed to a heart sell, where it's like you're able to express your desire in the work, your enthusiasm in the work. And where you're looking to connect with people on a heart level, rather than trying to convince them on a mental level, and where you're authentic. You know, it's like it's something that is easier for, again, like, and it may be, you know, just the nature of, you know, anyone who's like in a healing type of work, where, you know, that sensitivity, it's like you want to be the essence of that realm, that healing realm.
And the shamanic level comes in. You know, we all give in some degree in this kind of work, but and it could be considered fantastical. You know, that's on the list too, or practical. And where is that line drawn? Whereas, you know, I've always done this work because I think it's fun. But I have a passion for it. Not everybody's into it. And I don't expect everybody to be into it. I mean, I've been obsessed with books and learning, and, you know, I like let the world kind of go past me in a lot of different ways because I didn't know much about like music or fashion or, you know, those sort of things. I was more interested in nutrition and the occult, you know, and divination, psychic divination. Whereas, you know, where are we psychic and where are we not? And where does our mind like improve? And can we improve our mind in this life?
Yeah.
Been so fascinated by it.
Well, again, looking at that level of, you know, where you're passionate towards something and you're looking to like, kind of harness that passion in a way so that, you know, you can draw upon it at any time of day. You know, if you're, again, like if you're a great artist, right? It's like, you know, sometimes if you're just doing it for yourself, you can wait for the muse to hit. But when you're, you know, monetizing it, when you're working for others, when, you know, you have clients that come in and say, hey, I need this by Friday, you know, it's like, you know, I need to just be inspired. You know, I can't just do it by Friday. You know, I need to, you know, be in the right mood to do this. Right. I mean, that's something that you start to learn to harness in your gifts a little bit so that you can produce, again, to sustain yourself in the world and to meet deadlines and, you know, get things cooking. I you know, that was like my greatest training, I think, you know, as a young man, because I was like the artist who was like, you know, on my own schedule and all, But when I started doing production art, man, it's like you really like harness in the effort, and there's like that eternal clock, that is just like tick 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 tick, time's passing. It's like, okay, that's done, okay, that's done, okay, that's done, and you just like get everything done by clockwork. But it doesn't diminish at all your ability to do what you love. It just like puts it more into the pressure cooker. And it's like successful people who are able to sustain themselves with their gift. It's like they're very cognizant of that. They know that time is a commodity, and that you're looking to get things done in a certain time.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, the clock is, we live on linear time, which is just so odd, because I know, past our ozone layer, I don't think it's, after that, it's not linear time anymore.
Yeah. I mean, but like in the physical realm, because we're both spiritual and physical beings, mm-hmm. It's like that's just one of the things that is what we're working with. One of the laws, it's like we get hungry, because time passes, and it's like we need to rest, we need to be energized, and coming to terms with that. And again, like mixing your passions and your skills, right? So that you're feeling fulfilled in life. That to me is the essence of it anyway, is that, you attach your purpose to what it is that you do in life. And, that's fuel, that's not where you wake up and go, oh God, another day at the office.
No, because I mean, you have to wake up and say it's a good day, no matter if it's not really exactly a good day at that moment, but look forward to something. A lot of people look forward to coffee, but you could be looking forward to, putting on a teal shirt. You can like the color. You could do anything that you want.
Yeah. And, sometimes, again, looking at kind of the idea, the starting point, sometimes the strength is liking to work with people. Sometimes it's where you just like working on your own, and checking that off as one of the strengths, one of the things to
right.
look to do.
Mm-hmm. Right. Because, some people may not like their job per se, but they'll say things like, oh, I only like a couple people in my life, or and so therefore you have a steady something to do, because you don't really want to interact with the world. There's a lot of, even if you're interacting with the world, you don't necessarily have to interact with the world. Even if you're a store clerk, you don't really interact with everybody, but you can at least see, you're seeing people.
Right.
And it makes it more enjoyable if you actually have some humanity or humility within you, some compassion of what others are going through. I mean, because then, you're just upping your life. You're upping the quality of your life.
You're upping the vibration that you send out into the world too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you do that also, it ripples back to you as well.
Right.
So this idea of monetizing, what it is, because that's the same aspect of being able to talk about and to advertise, what it is that you do. And mm-hmm. it's giving value to what it is that you do.
Right. And giving value. So, and that's the really key, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even if it's the simplest thing, it's how are you giving value? It could be that you're just being nice to coworkers. Could be that you're being nice to your kids. It could be that you're being nice to the mailman. I mean, you know, grocery store clerk, you don't know how you're affecting people other than if you might be the bright spot of their day. You know, I mean, how many people do you see? You don't care what their life is like. You don't care about anything other than how they treat you. You know, just a nice nicety. How are you today? Or, you know, hi, it's good to see you. Thanks for shopping here. Whatever it is, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny is that we have the benefit of being able to read people's energy,
Oh, yeah.
you know, to see the sincerity level.
Sincerity meter. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's like going, yes, they're sincere, or it's just like, it's like, no, I call BS on you, clerk. You're not really happy to see me.
For me, I usually don't push people down. For me, if I feel that someone's in trouble, I usually say a silent prayer right there. You know, that I send sentinels for this person, that they will find, you know, they will find joy, or that they will come out of whatever it is that's really troubling them. Because, you know, people who are troubled, they wear trouble usually. I mean, just even if they don't even say anything, it doesn't matter. If I feel that they're in trouble, then yeah.
You have someone there at your feet?
Yeah, a ghost. I always help people in trouble. Yeah, you can see his notes.
Yeah. So, you know, one thing that, you know, when someone is breaking into a field, mm-hmm. when they're starting out, there is probably like a natural inclination, you know, to mm-hmm. like do things just to build confidence, to create awareness. You know, in the realm of the psychic readings and you know, reading tarot, it's like, you know, there's a lot of like free readings, just, you know, within your like family and then friends, and then, you know, where it extends out to, you know, these other social circles. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I look at my journey, and, you know, it's like I put myself in a lot of different types of situations where it wasn't just one social group, or, you know, just one economic group. Even it was just all over the spectrum. And what that showed me was that everyone is the same. You know, at their core, everyone has like a desire to know about relationships, about their finances, about their life path, to know that they're on the right path, that they're aligned with it. And and so, you know, that can, you know, pretty much, you know, put me in any place where I'm in that I guess confidence of knowing that, you know, people are people everywhere. That's like a thing. But when someone is starting out, when someone is just starting out in their field, they may not know all of these just details of their work. And so so they may, you know, they may undervalue, I guess, their own services, their own product, just so that they can get it out there, just so that people can have it. You know, it's like the free samples, right? That people will send out, because it's like they just want people to be aware of it and to be able to talk about it and send it out.
Yeah. I mean, the thing too is that, well, reiterate on that.
Well, at the onset, right? Mm-hmm. Just so that things are out there. You know, it's like the musician who creates an album, right? And it's like, hey, buy my album for, you know, $20, right? And it's like, yeah. Well, what is it? You know, I've never heard it. You know, I don't know you. It's like, you're just going to have to trust it. Just buy it, as opposed to like, just like either playing a song or putting up one song on YouTube, or, where there is, something that people, there's like a no risk, like, oh, okay, I'll check this out. And then if they like it, it's like, oh, okay, and where there is just that incentive at the onset for someone to either buy something or to hire you.
Right. I mean, for me, I have a lot of people who pay me even if they know me, because and I think I learned this too with because we always had Jimmy in our life. Jimmy is a great friend of Jason's and mine, and we've known him for 30-something years now. And he's a photographer, and not just a photographer. I mean, he's a fantastic photographer. And so it would have just been easier, and back in the day, just hiring him to take pictures, because a lot of times I didn't have a lot of professional pictures taken, because we had Jimmy, and I thought, he'll just do some here or there, instead of, it's his business. So, it was just easier to click in and do the business. And I've noticed that really this generation of kids, really, I mean, they all pay me, who are, my friends' kids and stuff, because they really want that. They want to go forward. They want to progress. They want my expertise. So they pay for it. They ask for it, and then go. So, I've probably gone past the stage years and years ago, because I did a lot of palmistry.
Oh, of course. I mean, you've been doing this for many, many years, yeah. But anyone who's just starting out, right, who isn't known.
Oh, yeah. No, you have to like dip your foot in the water for sure. And even still, people will not know what I do for a long time. But once they do, they're on it. But yeah. Then they want to ask me a million questions. But, until that time, usually, I've noticed it. It's been pretty funny over the years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I just don't give that much away, because, I just figure when someone's ready, they're ready. And, and I do such fun work when I am doing big projects with people, like I had that, my one beautiful client who had the kidney transplant last year, it was it's a couple of years we're working together, so I a lot of success stuff where I'm working for years with somebody, that's always fun. Yeah.
Yes. If you're established as you are,
yes,
it's like, that's it. Right. I mean, there's, I was just saying, anyone who is, who's starting out, who's starting out, who's building an awareness. I feel that going from that inner world of where you hear the calling to be a certain person in the world, where you're utilizing your gifts and all. You can, wrestle with all of that inside, but when you're ready to come out, right, it's like, giving voice to it in a confident manner, so that that you may not have a lot of the worldly experience that's associated with that identity.
Yes.
But you can like give voice to your desire to be that person, without, touting necessarily the accomplishments that haven't come yet, but you can give energy to that authenticity within you, and proceed from there. And, that's again, like, part of that heart cell that one can provide, that one can, put forward. And then, it's like monetarily, it's like you may, again, just to get it out there, where it's like, you do your little readings, or not readings. I'm like thinking in terms of myself. You do your services, right? And your rates may be this, but once you start getting more acclaim, more notice, more consistency, then you keep raising, you keep on the rise of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's again that consistency that you're going to keep with it when you see progress. If your vision of yourself isn't up to snuff, if it isn't getting the results, then either you need to rethink it, retweak it, or mostly that, is to say, well, okay, this isn't quite working out as I had envisioned it, had planned. So I need to either approach it differently or, pull back. But that's what are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, no, I think that, it's just beginning for sure. And going forward, and it can be anything, being an architect to just having a physical job, being in construction. I mean, as long as you're, learning, putting forth the effort on, accomplishing, I think that, there's a lot of honor with accomplishing, with actually getting up and going to a job, no matter what kind of a job it is. It's a good honor. It's a great accomplishment, really, in the world, to not be afraid of the world. There's been so much fear this last year. I mean, it's like, come on, we have to get out of that fear zone. A fear zone is definitely hypnosis. Don't be in the fear zone at all. Yeah.
Do you have any good programs for, kind of putting people into a zone that, they're able to kind of, bust out of themselves a little bit, get out of that fear zone?
Well, I think any hypnosis that gets you out of the fear zone, because you're gonna switch your mind into thinking about something else or doing something else. And I use it all the time. I decided to not be somebody who did things and didn't practice what I preach. So I listen to a lot of mind programming to make sure that my, body is working perfectly, and that I'm progressing forward easily in life. And so, so I started listening to all the MP3s that I made that are Jason's. He has a whole big OM collection. So it's a lovely collection, Jason, your MP3s. And then I have an eye hypnotherapy app, but it's only on Apple right now. I don't have it on Android, and which has to change soon. And the thing is that it is me and Steve G. Jones, and Jason could be on there, but Jason hasn't submitted all his stuff there yet. Yeah, but Steve G. Jones is huge in the world. He has way over 9,000 titles. And so, if you don't find it within mine or Jason's.
Wait a sec, 9,000 titles?
Yeah.
Are there 9,000 activities in the world?
Well, he probably does it in different ways. He's prolific. Yeah. Our prolific friend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Jones. I like to call him Dr. Jones.
Yeah.
Because it's so like Indiana Jones. Mm-hmm. He likes that.
So the thing is that if you can't, we try to do it across the gamut to be able to find it. Yeah.
When I'm doing readings and people are looking at activating a new sense of themselves, a new identity out in the world, it's like, we look to see how they're blocking themselves. If it's in a mental place where, they'll, overthink things. So they'll try to come up with a scenario that will, they'll come to a place of fear, and then they'll start to hold themselves back, right? It's almost like the friend that you're talking about who's creating the relationships in their head before they even just go up and talk to a person, because they're too much in their head about it.
Yeah.
And helping to cultivate awareness so that someone is able to catch themselves when that process is taking place. It's almost like it can be like this automatic default setting that people will go to if they're not aware of it, and they catch themselves and say, you know what, this time is different. I'm not going to just play out a scenario in my head, because it's keeping me from experiencing a real situation.
Sure.
And so, finding these areas where, and it might be where, someone isn't, they may have too much fire in them. They're not planning enough. They're not trying to step by step or, create any steps. That it's just like, yeah, I'm going to do this and this is going to be great. And, they just have like so much enthusiasm and fire that it just like, one day they wake up and that fire's gone and they haven't done anything with it. And then there's something else that can take its place and say, oh yeah, but this is better. And then, and go through the same process, and just kind of keep burning themselves out, and then burning out their support systems around them, their friends and family and all, who are just going, what now, this? So the process of catching yourself and saying, oh, okay, this is not
viable, and this is not for my life.
Yeah. And, if someone is, again, looking at strengths and weaknesses and making a checklist, if you're a great starter of something, then, that's important. It is important to have an idea and to have that enthusiasm and kind of the spirit of the thing. Maybe it's to help people in some manner that will come from it. And yet, if you're not the person, it's like either you hire the person who is the one who can manifest it. You build a team, but that's something that people don't do something for free. It's like they need to come in and be. Well,
they have livelihood.
Exactly.
They want to support what they're good at.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And so, it's like one has to be cognizant that an idea is just an idea, and it doesn't go anywhere unless it's being pushed out into the world and it's like being, maintained, where there's a structure behind it. So however it is that, one is either creating that structure on a consistent basis, and also where there's room to grow too, where it doesn't have to just be the same thing each and every day. It's like things can build, and you allow for that energy of building too. Just down the road, it's like again, when I was started reading, it was like kind of friends and family and all, but it just like would keep growing because of opportunities that it's like your circle of influence gets wider and wider, and you have to look at that so that you don't just like stay in that same pool of what would be considered like a marketplace, right? It's like if you're making music and you're just having friends buy it, it's just going to stay in a small place. And you had on your list there about it's either, do you use the word like marketplace, or how do you market like your product or service?
To make money. It says, okay, I'm going to read the list. It says, can this idea make you money? Oh, what is the goal of this idea?
Mm-hmm.
Can this idea make you money? List the ways it can make money. What problem does it solve? Is it practical or fantastical? Is this a product or a service? And who is your potential clients? Meditate and begin. And so the thing is that, and then you get to next steps, because I do, when I'm working with people, when successful people, it's about strengthening themselves and their ideas and the direction that they're going, and to trust their intuition and to see what creates them. And, but it's also to build teams. And so it's not you who, you have to, like you were saying, that you have to sometimes get expert opinions. So you allow someone else to be good at what they do so that they can come together with you, such as your Japanese team. That's a good example for you.
Oh, absolutely. Because, I could not do the readings without other people.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Or stores, or, different people that we all put in place. I've always had great assistants or people who put things into place. Yeah. Marketers or, branders, but we do a lot of branding ourselves. That was what we were good at back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
When I especially. Yeah. With
yeah.
other.
Yeah. And it's not a weakness, if you can't do everything.
No, you just can't do everything well. Has nothing to do with, we only have a 24-hour day, and, you have to have some downtime. You have to eat. You should exercise. And you should have love in your life. So, it's only so much there now to create money.
Yeah. Looking at that market place too, as far as, it's important to expand, to not just, have, it's important to have like a solid base that you create, but to not just, rely on that base, just to, keep, the success going. However it is that you can expand, and sometimes it's like in little ways where it's just like your feelers go out. But again, I think it's important to, again, sometimes it's samples, like in corporations and all like that are creating a product. It'll just be like a small part of what it is that they have that they'll send out, just so that it builds an awareness of a product or so in just areas that people haven't been aware. And
let's go with that for a minute. A product. So when I have people, who come to me who have products, and it's usually the product, you're really excited about the product, or you're really excited about the book, or you're really excited about whatever the project is, TV, anything that it is. You're really excited about the project, but, once it's kind of done, then you feel lost, like, what else am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? What am I, what's happening here? Well, the bottom line is that, you're supposed to get to a place, not to the end of something. You're supposed to still be in the flow in the middle of it, and to keep flowing. So you're working on a, one thing, not 20 things, but one thing to jump for the next, say if it's a product, because you're building You're building something. So you want to keep building. And you don't want to build something that's going to be in, say, a digital something when you have an actual something that's in manifest form. You want to keep with the genre of whatever it is that you have in manifest form, so that you can go on to the next, to the next item. And how useful is it? How is it something that, you feel great about, or, because a lot of things that are put out into the market, we can see, people just throw things out, because they know how to market things, or they already have a store and they're just throwing it out. But the bottom line is that, quality, gets you quality clients and quality, buyers of something. So it's all just being valuable in our own lives, and seeking that value toward others. It can be that, it's as easy as, because a lot of people are looking for their purpose, but your purpose may only be just to live a great life, or live a good life, just stay out of trouble, or, love your families. You needed a rest this life. You didn't need to, be working night and day and, being a cobbler, have to solve, like stuff that you don't think matters. But yet, we all need shoes.
That's true. We all need shoes. We all need shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Us women really love pretty shoes.
Well, it's funny because of the, having useful items, and also, items that, have an aesthetic quality to them. Yeah. That we feel like we're in a place of our time, where it's in fashion, right? And yet, with what's that?
Well, I'm not a big fashionista type person. I had my nose in books, buying books for the store when I owned the store. I wasn't a big fashion person, but I like some style, I have my own style. Yeah. Anyway, hey, Jason, how can people find you?
People can find me on Facebook at Jason D. McKean. My website is Jason D. McKean, JASONDMCKEAN.com. And I have lots of classes that I do. Got a soul progressions class tonight, and that's you can see that on Facebook. It's an event, and I'll post it on my page there.
All right. Do you put it up on Instagram too, so that people can find it?
I do. It is on Instagram, and Jason Tarot Wizard is my Instagram handle.
All right. Awesome.
Where can people find you?
I'm at tarainsight.com. It's TARAINSIGHT.com. And I'm on the radio today again for your friend, Tracy Brown. And she wants to talk about pet psychic and psychic pets, I guess.
Fantastic. Is that today or tomorrow?
No, this is today. Oh, it's tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Tomorrow. It's the 16th. And it's 2 p.m. Pacific, but you can find that on my Instagram. She is Tracy Brown Live, TRACEY live.com, I guess.
So as long as I've known you, it's like, yes. And that's my whole life. As far as animals they've gravitated towards you. You have communicated not just to cats and dogs, but to horses and spiders and everything. So it's
no spiders in my house. I tell them they have to live outside.
Well, that's you communicating. It's like that inner that it's just like scaring them away.
All right. Anyway, but thank you for being on the show. I just love hanging out with you. This is our way of hanging out now. And
right.
Dave.
All right. Well, thank you, Tara. Many blessings to you and much love to everyone.
Okay. Love you, Jason. Love you, everybody. Many blessings.
Thank you for listening to Transformations with Tara. Tara hopes this program brings guidance and insight towards a better tomorrow. If you have any questions or inquiries, or would just like to know more about Tara Sutphen's workshops and seminars or private sessions, please visit her website now at tarainsight.com. Until next time, many blessings.